All right, so you want to like really get a grasp on something without spending hours and hours just going through like tons and tons of information.
Yeah,
Right. That's what we do here.
absolutely.
So today, we're going to take a deep dive into Ghana's Kakum National Park,
Okay.
based on this really awesome YouTube video I found from Wild Travels Demystified.
Sounds good.
And we're going to look at this rainforest ecosystem.
Okay.
We're going to figure out like why it matters so much.
Yeah.
So we can kind of get away from that idea of just like, oh, it's just a bunch of green, and more like, oh, wow, there's so much going on in there, so
Right.
much hidden life.
Right.
And that's, I think, what this video does so well.
Yeah, and it really shows us that it's more than just trees, right? There's
Right.
so much activity. It's so vibrant, and it's like a layered world.
Yeah.
And it's in southern Ghana, and it protects a part of the upper Guinean forest, which is this region where some trees get to be like 50 meters tall.
50 meters. Wow.
Yeah, like think about that, like a 15-story building
Oh, wow.
reaching up and creating this whole like environment up there.
Yeah, that's wild. So
Yeah.
you get a sense of like the scale of it, and you know you're on the ground, and you look up and you just see this
Yeah.
incredibly dense canopy.
Right.
It's just like this roof of leaves, and it's all green.
Yeah.
But
But it's buzzing with life.
right, it's so much activity going on in there.
Yeah, and the video does a great job of introducing us to some of the
Yeah.
key players
Yeah,
in
he
that
does.
world up there. Like
Yeah.
the collared sunbird, tiny little bird just full of energy.
Right.
And you just hear its cheerful song like all the time through the canopy.
Okay.
And then there's the white-throated bee-eater, which is a little more watchful.
Yeah.
It's often like behind branches, just kind of observing things.
It was more hidden.
Yeah, more discreet. And then you can't miss the long-tailed starling
Okay.
with those super loud, distinctive calls.
Oh, okay. So it's like the opposite.
Yeah, it's like, I'm here.
Right. Okay.
But then, in contrast, you have the woodland kingfisher,
Okay.
much quieter, more elusive.
Okay.
Shows you there are like different hunting strategies going on up there.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So it's really like this whole city up there,
Yeah.
like bustling with all these different
Yeah,
kinds of characters.
Exactly.
Okay. So the video touches on how these rainforests came to be,
Right.
and like how the region's climate played a role.
Yeah, so the climate in West Africa is tropical.
Right.
So it's warm and wet, and it's been like that for like a really long time.
Okay.
And that's what you need for these rainforests to evolve
Right. Okay.
and flourish and become all this rich life and variety.
Okay. So the climate is like the perfect recipe for that.
Yeah, like a perfect cradle.
Okay. Cool.
So what's interesting is that this upper Guinean rainforest, it's not like one big continuous forest.
Oh, right.
It's broken up,
right.
and it's spread across lots of different countries in West Africa.
So it's like islands.
Yeah, like islands of biodiversity.
That's interesting.
And it's not just naturally broken up, is it?
Right.
Humans have had like a huge effect on that.
Yeah. The video makes it clear that a lot of this, like, breaking up and shrinking of the forest is because of what we're doing.
Sadly, yeah. So over time, we've seen this forest cover get smaller and smaller
Yeah.
because of illegal logging
Right.
and mining and like people needing more space to live and farm.
So it's like all these different pressures.
Yeah, and it's really worrying.
Right.
Like the video says there's less than half of the original forest left,
Less than half. Wow.
and it's still shrinking really fast.
That's crazy. So even protected areas like Kakum,
Yeah.
it's not like they're totally safe.
Right, even though it's protected, it still has these challenges. Like
Yeah.
the video specifically mentions mining companies.
Oh,
They
right.
keep trying to get the government to let them mine in the park.
Oh, so it's like ongoing.
Yeah, they want those resources.
And it's like they're not seeing the forest as this
right.
really valuable ecosystem.
Yeah, it's like they just see dollar signs.
Exactly.
Which is so short-sighted.
Right, because once it's gone, it's like gone.
Yeah, the video says it's almost impossible to get back what was there.
Right. It's not like you can just plant new trees.
Yeah, it's not that simple.
And it'll be the same.
These are like webs of life that took thousands of years to form.
Right.
So when you lose them, you lose way more than just trees. It's
Yeah.
like species and processes that are like super hard to get back.
Yeah.
Like almost impossible.
Okay. So zooming out a little, the video calls these forests the lungs of the planet.
Yeah, it's a great way to put it because
Right.
they do so much for the global climate.
Right.
And like the air we breathe.
So it's like even though it's far away in Ghana,
Yeah,
it's affecting us here,
exactly.
wherever we're listening.
It's all connected.
Okay, so we've looked up high and we've zoomed out. Now let's go down to the forest floor.
Okay.
because there's some really interesting stuff going on down there.
Yeah. There are some cool creatures.
Yeah, like the giant African millipede.
Yeah, that one looks kind of scary at first.
Right. You see that in the video and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, but it's actually really important.
Right.
It's a detritivore.
Okay, what?
A detritivore, which means it eats like dead stuff.
Oh, okay, so like the forest's cleanup crew.
Exactly. It breaks down leaves and dead animals.
Okay.
And that makes the soil better.
Oh, so it's like composting.
Yeah, like composting, but for the whole forest.
And helps all the living plants grow.
Exactly. So it's like a key part of the whole system.
So even though it looks kind of creepy, it's doing a really important job.
It's like a recycling expert.
Exactly. And then there are the driver ants.
Yeah, those little guys.
They just seem to be constantly on the move.
They're like always busy.
With a purpose.
Right. They make this huge networks of roads all over the forest floor.
Roads.
Yeah, but they're temporary.
Okay.
It's like a constant construction project.
That's wild.
Millions of ants working together.
Wow. And the video shows like if one ant gets off the road, it's like in danger.
Yeah, it's vulnerable.
Right, because all the predators are looking for a snack.
Exactly. They're like easy pickings.
Okay, so then we see this young agama lizard.
Right.
It seems to have figured out that these ant roads are like a buffet.
Yeah, they're like a moving feast.
Right. Just constantly going by.
The lizard's just watching, waiting for its chance.
Right, and the video shows all these interesting things about the lizard.
Yeah, like it basks in the sun
Oh, right.
to warm up because it's cold-blooded.
Okay.
And it eats mostly insects.
Okay.
So those ants are perfect.
Right.
And it's camouflaged, so it blends in with the forest floor.
So it doesn't get eaten itself.
Exactly. It's like a whole little drama playing out down there.
Right, and then the lizard seems to get nervous.
Yeah,
But it's not the ants.
right.
It's something else.
It's like it senses danger from above.
Okay.
The video mentions an African harrier hawk,
Okay.
but it's flying really high up.
Okay.
So the lizard knows it's not an immediate threat.
But there's something closer.
Yeah, there's a predator hiding somewhere.
And the video calls it a blue ghost.
That's a cool name.
It's the woodland kingfisher, right?
Exactly.
And it's interesting because this kingfisher doesn't hunt like other kingfishers.
Right, most kingfishers are near water.
Right, to catch fish.
Yeah, but this one's different.
It's adapted to the forest.
Yeah, it's evolved to hunt in the undergrowth.
So it's eating insects and small animals.
Exactly. Things like lizards.
So it's a real threat to that agama lizard.
Definitely.
And the video shows that whole interaction.
Yeah, the lizard sees the kingfisher
Yeah.
and runs for cover.
And the kingfisher almost seems to hesitate.
Yeah, it's like a split-second decision.
Right.
Then it has to move to a better spot.
To try and get the lizard.
Yeah, it's like a constant struggle to survive.
Right, just playing out in the forest all the time.
Every minute.
So now the video shifts to mammals,
Okay.
but it says they're hard to see
Yeah, a lot of the bigger animals are really shy.
because they're hunted.
Right, they're scared of people.
But we do get to see some monkeys.
Yeah, the vervet monkeys.
Right, and they're way up high in the canopy.
Yeah, up in the trees where it's safer.
Right out of reach of predators.
Exactly.
And they're really adaptable eaters.
Yeah, they eat all kinds of stuff.
Fruits and seeds.
Nuts.
But the video shows that when food is scarce, they'll even eat young leaves.
Yeah, even though they're not as nutritious,
Uh.
it's like they make do with what they have.
Yeah, that's really resourceful.
It shows how resilient they are.
So back down to the forest floor.
Okay.
The video takes us into the understory.
Right, it's like a whole different world down there.
Yeah, darker.
Yeah, because all those leaves above block out the sun.
Right, it's like a natural filter.
Yeah, so it's dimly lit.
Right.
And there are all these tangled branches and vines.
So it's like this really dense place.
Yeah, and it's home to some really rare species
Okay.
that are super hard to see.
So it's like this hidden world.
Yeah.
But you can hear them.
Right, a lot of the birds down there and these beautiful songs.
So you might not see them, but, you know, they're there.
Yeah, like the video mentions the orange-breasted forest robin.
Okay.
You might just get a quick glimpse of it.
A flash of color and then it's gone.
Yeah, it's like the forest is keeping its secrets.
Right.
Just little hints.
Okay. And lastly, the video goes back up to the treetops.
Right.
But this time it's about these tiny bees.
Yeah, the stingless bee.
And they make these hives that stick out from the tree trunks.
Yeah, they look kind of strange.
Right.
But it's like they're little fortresses.
Up so high.
And they're so tiny.
Right. The video says they're like the size of small flies.
Yeah, it's amazing how they build these structures.
And they're exposed to the weather up there.
Yeah, but the hives are insulated.
Right? They've adapted to protect the colony.
Yeah, and the video says their honey is really special to the local people.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like medicine.
Oh, wow.
It has all these health benefits.
So it's like another layer of value to the rainforest.
It's not just about the plants and animals.
Right, it's all connected to people too.
Yeah, and the video ends by saying that every part of this ecosystem is valuable.
Right.
It's like, it's priceless.
And that protecting these forests is about more than just the plants and animals.
Right, it's about protecting ourselves.
Yeah, the future of humanity.
Exactly.
Okay, so we went on this whole journey through Kakum National Park.
Yeah, we explored all the different layers.
Right from the canopy down to the understory.
We met all sorts of creatures.
Yeah, and saw how everything is connected.
And how fragile it all is.
Right, and how important it is to protect these places.
Yeah, like even the tiniest creatures matter.
Right, like that millipede.
Yeah, it's all part of the web.
And then the threats, like the logging and mining.
It's a reminder that we need to do more to protect these forests.
Yeah, it really makes you think about how everything's connected.
Even though it's far away, it still affects us.
Right. What happens in Ghana impacts the whole planet.
So this is a question for you, our listener.
Okay.
Given all the pressures on Kakum and other rainforests,
Yep.
what can you do
Right.
to help protect them?
Even from far away.
Yeah, what action can you take?
It's something to think about,
Definitely.
even after this deep dive is over.
It's an ongoing conversation
Exactly.
about how we can all help
Protect these amazing places.
for ourselves and for the future.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Kakum National Park.
Yeah. Thanks for listening
We'll see you next time.
on The Deep Dive.
All right, take care.
Bye.